Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about a video I made a couple of months ago about me selling all of my ETH for Solana. This was a long decision that I made, and I looked at everything and I just thought that I'd make the most profits come the peak bull with Solana as opposed to ETH. Since that time, ETH has now crossed over $3,000, $3,100 right now, and it's speculated that they may be approved for a spot ETF. I shouldn't even say speculated. Chances are it's going to happen because BlackRock, amongst other big hitters, have put in their applications for a spot ETF. And we see what's happening with Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is taking off because of the spot ETF news. Then you have ETH. If they get approved, it's already deflationary. So sky could be the limit for ETH. So how do I feel about this decision? Do I regret it? Today's video is about that. Just today, how do I feel about ETH versus Solana? So guys, if this is something that interests you, stay tuned till the end of the video for my decision. Do I have buyer's remorse, or I'm pretty confident with my decision? Let's find out. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my content, please subscribe to the channel. So let's take a look. Before I get into that though, I want to talk about some big news that I saw today in the process of me talking about this, making this video, was that the Hong Kong-based crypto exchange BitForex has halted withdrawals after 56 million outflows. And it looks like customers are calling, they're not getting a response, trying to get their money out, saying, hey, what's going on? And this is, I just want to start off with this, is the importance, especially when we're going into peak bull, that you want to take your stuff off these central exchanges because stuff like this can happen. Even the ones you think that might be the most secure, the safest, you never know. And it'll suck if, prices are skyrocketing and you can't do anything about it, right? So like they always say, not your keys, not your coins. Whenever you get something, a big purchase, normally just take it off the exchange, put it back on the exchange if you want to change and make some money, take some profit. But that's just a quick video on that. It sucks for everybody that's involved in that. Hopefully they resolve the issue. Now, let's take a look at the market today as it stands, and we see that Bitcoin hits 55,000. Oh shoot, this happened during this video. It was at 54,000, and now we've crossed 55. Sky's the limit for this market. I'm trying to tell you, those ETFs, the big boys are buying up the Bitcoin, and we know going into a halving and just supply shock. I made other Bitcoin videos. So I won't talk about that, but it's just going to be crazy. And all that money that you see Bitcoin up top is just going to trickle down. And obviously the number two is ETH as far as market cap goes. And we're already seeing the effects of that. ETH's at 3,200. It's crazy and climbing. And then we have Solana. Solana's also increased, but not as significant as ETH. Solana took a little downturn down to 100, and now we're back up to 112. But if we look at the 7-day average, we see ETH is up 10% versus Solana 2.3%. If we look at the 24-hour volume, though, as far as a price increase, we see Solana is at 8.3 and ETH is at 3.7. So looking at the volume, 24-hour volume, we see that ETH has about 17.5 billion in volume versus Solana 2.5 billion. So things are looking good for both chains. ETH is really, really rocking right now. And I think it's due to DeFi. I'm sorry, not DeFi, but the spot ETF. Well, we're going to get into DeFi too. So Valkyrie CIO anticipates that the ETH ETF approval will likely take 1 to 2 years. However, the market is anticipating May, because May is when the first decision could be made on the applications. And again, like I said at the intro, BlackRock is one of the applicants. And normally if BlackRock puts their name on something, it's a pretty much guarantee that they think they're going to get it. I believe they have an approval rate of 99 point something. They only failed once. So it's inevitable that it's going to happen. And, like we've seen what's going on with Bitcoin right now, and like we've seen beforehand with gold, just a trajectory that just goes up. And so a lot of people are trying to get into ETH right now, and that's what's driving the volume. ETH whales are definitely stacking right now, and they like what they see with ETH. So something to talk about. ETH is looking pretty good right now. And then also, I saw this article on CoinDesk said that the ETH ETF is not the only reason, not the only catalyst. It's a big catalyst, but not the only reason ETH's rising right now. With the rise of Bitcoin, it's inevitable that the number 2 one would probably rise as well. But it's also saying that there's a lot of money in DeFi coming into ETH as well, and that's helping with the price. So That's the catalyst for ETH. ETH's looking pretty good right now. I can't front. If we look at DeFi, according to DeFi Llama, if we look at the ETH is still the big dog. As far as the 1 month change, up 59.4%, which is in line with the article we just saw. So total value locks 49.7 billion, which is a lot of money. Solana is number 5 at 2.1 billion. So when I started making these videos, Solana wasn't even at a billion as far as total value locked. ETH's always been the big behemoth and always at top. But, it's good to see that Solana is also climbing. And if we look at the 1 month change of total value locked, you see 71.7% versus 59.4% for ETH. And then if we look at the, just the 7 day change, you see ETH up 11% versus Solana 4.3%. So both are doing pretty good as far as DeFi and both increasing. But part of my reason for before is because Solana had a smaller market cap, and I just thought there was more gains to be made with Solana versus Ethereum. So it remains to be seen if that theory is still true. Also, other good news for ETH. If we look at, according to CryptoQuant, just the supply on central exchanges is just declining. Look at that. Look at that purple line. Down, 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 down. Just declining. Now, people using ETH for either liquid ETH or ETH itself for DeFi, and then you have others taking it off exchanges and staking it, which is evident here. Then you got news of an ETF, spot ETF coming up, and people are just going to be buying it. We all know about supply and demand. Same thing's happening with Bitcoin. The price of ETH will definitely go up. So this is very, very good news for ETH holders. Also, we talked about, ETH being deflationary, and we're not even peak bull yet. And you already see that, the amount of ETH that's being burned right now is currently deflationary. So we look at 7 day time frame, about 28,000 ETH was burned versus 17,000 being issued. So you see a negative of 10,900 ETH being burned, which is only going to help with the price. It's a deflationary token, especially when things are peaking. Next, let's look at daily active addresses, right? So ETH has been killing it right now. We've been talking about that for the majority of this video. If we look at daily active addresses, we see Solana at 574,000 versus ETH 386,000. So daily active addresses, Solana has more. And if we look at daily transactions, this is according to Artemis, Solana has 28.1 million versus ETH 1.1 million. So part of my rationale with that is if you look at daily active addresses and daily transaction, Solana is killing it versus ETH. ETH has TVL, I get it, but Solana's coming up with TVL as well. And the main reason for this is because Solana, in my belief, is faster and it's cheaper to transact. I have a Uniswap DEX, and I also have a Jupiter DEX, Raydium DEX, and I much rather use Raydium or Jupiter versus Uniswap. Making a small transaction, trying to switch my ETH into something else can cost me $20, $30, $40 sometimes. Whereas I can do that on Solana and it's quicker and it's costing me like not even, a penny. And then if you have big apps and it's moving quicker, most people, especially in this time with people pinching pennies and times are kind of rough for a lot of people, they don't want to spend $20 to exchange $5. They don't want to do that. And that's why I think just the general public, I think Solana is going to catch on, and I think it's much more attractive than ETH. Although I just outlined why I think ETH will do very, very well this bull cycle. Now, if we look at DEX volume, we see that ETH has 1.3 billion versus Solana 472 million. So that is nothing to, nothing to blink at. But again, what I want you to see, and part of my rationale is, if we look at the market cap for ETH, 387 billion. And if we look at Solana, 49 billion. Do I think ETH is that much better than Solana? Based on everything I just showed you with daily active addresses, TVL, and all of that, I don't think so. I think that Solana can increase, maybe not overtake ETH, but I won't be surprised if it did it. But if you increase this by 3 times and it's, a little bit higher than that, what's the price of Solana going to be? Just something to think about. And that's what I'm thinking about constantly when I look at these two chains. Also, Solana right now is one of the hottest meme L1s. And, I don't want to downgrade Solana thinking it's just a meme L1 because we just saw that it's into DeFi as well, has a strong NFT marketplace and volume. But NFT, I'm sorry, and meme coins are what drive, it's people drivers, right? A lot of people get into crypto. They don't want to know about all the intricate and complicated stuff, especially me. I didn't start looking into crypto. I've heard of Bitcoin and then I heard of Dogecoin. That's what the media pretty much covers when people start making a lot of money with it. And people like it because it's fun, it's social driven. And right now, Solana's hot for that. And most of the Solana memes, or I wouldn't say most, but some of the Solana memes, once it happens and it get popular, they post it on Coinbase, which is one of the most famous or I would say infamous, but biggest central exchanges out there. And that drives adoption. So if you drive the adoption and people are trading memes on Solana versus ETH, because number one, it's cheaper to do so, and they're, just the community driven, I think that Solana has an edge on Ethereum when it comes to that as well. Memes are people drivers, and where are most of the people going with these memes? Solana. Myro, Bonk was crazy, third quarter. Wen is one that just got basically was a free airdrop. Dog with Hat is another one that's pretty popular. They're just coming up, and I think that is going to be a driver for Solana as well. Another driver for Solana is going to be this phone. So Saga 1 came out previously, and now they came out with the Saga 2. And the Saga 2, they just closed out their first round. They got about 100,000 pre-orders. Now they're on for the second round. Now I pre-ordered the Saga 2, and I already got a free airdrop for a meme called Cat with Hat. So you don't even have the phone yet, but just because you pre-ordered it and it's linked to your Phantom wallet, you're entitled to airdrops. Again, it's little things like that that drive people to your chain. And, again, the memes and this type of stuff, this is when it's going to drive people in activity and traffic and volume to the L1 chain. This is not to discredit what they're doing seriously as far as, their adoption, the big partnerships they have with Visa, Shopify, and all of that. It's not discrediting any of that. But again, you can have the best technology, but if no one's using your chain, what's the point? And these are little things that they're doing to help drive that adoption, drive the volume. And just from the first one, the first Saga phone, look at all the airdrops you got. Some of these airdrops paid for the phone itself. So at the time Bonk was going crazy, they, airdropped that and it was worth $430. The phone itself, I believe, cost $500, and all these other ones. So what's going to happen when we hit peak bull, and then you get a phone that's dropping all these things on you? Again, you do the math. And some of these might amount to nothing. Some might, but it's just the attention. People want to see it. They want to be a part of it. And I think that's what's going to drive more adoption to the Solana chain. Also, Helium. Helium Mobile is on Solana. Helium Mobile teamed up. They had a big partnership with T-Mobile. They have other partnerships with the Google Pixel, that phone there. But it's a cool concept. Basically, it's hotspots. Depending on where you're at in the world, it's not only in the US, but it's all over, and it's a lot of traction right now. And I think that, again, with the way the economy is going, people pinching pennies, if you could pay $20 for cell service, who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to do that? And it's just something I don't think is really taken off yet. Right now, it's, there's little talks about it, but when this thing takes off and you add the other craziness as far as peak bull, Bitcoin's over 100,000, ETH's doing whatever it's doing, Solana is going to be reaping the benefits as well. So these are all the little things that I'm thinking about when I compare ETH versus Solana. Also, ETH, they have a Dencun upgrade that's going to help with the scalability of their L2s. And so when I think of ETH, it's probably going to be controversial, but I think ETH has outdated tech, right? You have all these other L1s coming out. Solana's one of them, but you have others like Celestia, Injective, Avalanche to an extent. It's multi-chain layer 0, Say, Sui, Aptos. You have all these other ones with more, advanced tech, quicker, can scale. You don't need L2s for them to do basically what ETH's doing with a bunch of L2s. And since we're on the topic of L2s, how many L2s do they have? They have Arbitrum, they have Optimism, you have Metis, you have Base, and it goes on and on. Polygon. At the end of the day, how many do you need, right? ETH can be successful with all those L2s, but again, you just want that one-stop shop where it does everything and it doesn't cost you a fortune to do it. So even with this, it said the Dencun upgrade is not enough to scale Ethereum. Network capacity is a growing issue for ETH, And the Denkun upgrade may help, but the broader solution lies in multi-chain solutions, app chains, and rollups. So that's what's going on there. Then even the big dog himself, Vitalik, even commented, you've probably seen it if you're on X, crypto Twitter, where he basically had concerns about L2s. He said that pushing too much complexity onto layer 2s is an issue. Layer 1 consensus failure might create a day of panic for developers, he said, but with an L2 bug, people can permanently lose lots of money. So he is wary of pushing too much complexity on ETH L2s. So hopefully with the Denkun that can help, but we'll see. Now, Solana's not without issues as well. You know, about 3 weeks ago, Solana was down for several hours. It came back up. It didn't do too much to the price, right? It still was over $100, but still, this is another thing. And a lot of people that don't like Solana, this is what they talk about. For the year of 2023, they went pretty well, right? Nothing happened. They didn't have any outages, but here we go again. We started. But I will say credit to them that with all the volume that we had, that we just looked at here, all the volume that they had, they only had this one outage so far. So, you know, they always say if you want to push the brinks of technology, sometimes you have to break things. Although Solana has been happening more than once, but, you know, it's not happening less often. Then they have the Fire Dancer. Hopefully that comes out, that protocol comes out, and it's definitely going to help with these outages and also maybe increase TPS speed. Theoretically, up to 1 million TPS. Now, my theory again, if you have Fire Dancer and that actually helps and it comes through, it's supposed to happen this year, have that strong of a TPS, no more outages, you have all this activity already happening, memes, TVL, NFTs, airdrops, phones. You know, I think sky's the limit for this project, and that's why I'm still bullish on Solana. Yeah, it sucks to see Ethereum, you know, going up, but I think I'm able, with the ETH that I traded for Solana, I'm able to get more shares, more coins of Solana, SOL, and I think I'll have more of a profit with the SOL versus Ethereum. So that is my theory. Now, Raoul Pal is a basically economist, macro investor with real vision, and he's bullish on both Ethereum and Solana. And what's his price prediction for this peak bull? He believes ETH can probably reach around $15,000 to $20,000 in this bull cycle. And then he also thinks Solana can hit $750 to $1,000 in the same period. So if you're an everyday person like me, you know, you didn't make it in crypto years ago and you're a whale sitting on a lot of ETH that you purchased at maybe $80 or $100, buying ETH at this time, back when they were in the bear cycle, you're paying $1,400 for it. Now it's at $2,100 before it took off here. How many ETH can you afford? That $2,100, let's say $2,000 versus Solana. You know, you can get so many more coins of Solana. And then if you add that total up, let's say 100 Solana versus maybe 2 or 3 ETH, I think that you make more money, more of a profit with Solana. And sky's the limit with Solana. Again, I think ETH is, you know, probably outdated. You know, they have some upgrades coming. Hopefully it can help with the scalability and no need for L2s. But you have these newer players coming into play. And, you know, you think Blockbuster versus Netflix. You know, Blockbuster was king for the longest time until it wasn't. No one ever thought they would see Blockbuster come down, but look at it now. So that's my whole theory of things. You know, tech, people are always developing and they're always switching it up. And sometimes you fall in love with a project because you were there at the inception and you see how big it's getting and how big it's still getting, that you fail to see others and you fail to see other opportunities in the future. So my decision on Solana still sticks, you know, and I'll continue to do updates like this and we'll see peak bull if I made the right decision. So guys, I hope you liked the video. Until next time, see you later. Bye.